Hi, ThatPaulGuy. Got a question for you. What does G.Skill Trident Z Neo 32 gig kit running at 3600 megahertz have to do with an EVGA GTX1660 black? Absolutely nothing. But what some of us may have also experienced at one point in our life, a parent or a grandparent that said, look, if you didn't get the answer you were expecting, maybe you're asking the wrong question. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what this has to do with getting us to where this has to be. Follow me along on this one. This one's good. All right, this is Son of Fred, or more accurately, it's a picture of Son of Fred. The reason why I don't have video of Son of Fred is because, well, I screwed that part up. But what's inside Fred, you're just going to have to take my word for it. At this point in this picture is 16 gig of G.Skill memory running at 3200 megahertz. That's what we're going to be swapping out, and so here we go. Now, as you can see, I do have 16 gigabytes of memory in here, and it is running at what it says 1600 megahertz down there in the bottom right, but you got to remember that's double density, so 1600 is 3200. It is running at 7.7 gig capacity, so almost halfway, and that's just regular, regular goings on, stuff I've got in the background, things that I've got going on, and all that. I've got a couple of programs open, including 3D Paint and a few other things that I've got doing. So it's using about half the memory. Now that's typical for me because I usually have it on, and I usually got something going on almost all the time. But what we're going to do here is we're actually going to swap this out, and we're going to see if some of the things that I've got going on might not be a little bit better off if I change the memory out. I'm hoping they are, especially one thing that I'm about to show you. All right, the example we have here is last week, it's Thursday, and I do this on Shotcut. I go ahead and edit and everything on Shotcut. What we're going to pay attention to is up here in the upper right-hand corner, that figure right up there, that's 7 minutes and 57 seconds. Yep, that's how long it takes it to render that video in particular with all the changes and the cuts and everything that I've got in it. So it took 7 minutes and 57 seconds to render about a 12-minute video. To me, that's helpful, but that's still far too long. So we're going to aim to try to fix that and try to get that down a little bit and see what we can do. All right, I've got the memory swapped out, and you might be able to notice something else a little bit different. A minute ago when the system was on, you couldn't see the DDR4 sticks, and now of course you can. The Trident Z Neo is RGB. That was not the reason why I did it. I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the RGB because it was only about $14 on sale more than the other just regular Ripjaw memory, so I went ahead and got it. But what I'm mainly concerned with is what we're going to do in the BIOS. All right, so taking a look at the BIOS, on the left-hand side, you can see where it says DOCP. Profile 1 already says and already recognizes that 3600 speed memory. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up into Windows and make sure that everything matches and that we are indeed running at 3600 megahertz. Okay, so after restarting it, I did have to go back and adjust one thing. It picked up the memory, it picked up the amount of memory, but it still tried to give it as 3200 megahertz. So I had to go back and under the memory setting, select auto, and then go back and select the DOCP settings again. So then it went ahead and picked it up. Simple little procedure. I didn't feel like trying to follow along with the camera and all that stuff. It only took a minute or two, but you always want to go back to this. This is just if you hit Control Shift and Escape, it'll bring up the task manager. You can go to performance there and you can see what you're looking at as far as how your CPU is doing, your memory and all that stuff. You'll also notice that this says right now I'm only using about 5 gig of memory. Believe me, that's going to go up in a few minutes as I do other stuff. But we are measuring the right amount of memory. One thing we are not doing is we're not looking at the right colors. I actually had to download G.Skill's lighting effect. So I went ahead and did that, set all my LEDs on the first one to all blue, and then synced it to LED 1, hit apply, and now everything's all blue and everything works fine. But you know what? Why can't we all just get along? Now my mouse, my video card, my memory, and my fans are all on separate controllers, and it should be, I mean, the fans I can take care of because I can hook those straight into the motherboard, but come on folks, let's all just get along here, okay? All right, so you can see that the memory now is a solid blue color. It's not strobing or anything like that, so I'm fine with that. But like I said, my concern is that now my video card, my memory, my mouse, and all that stuff are all on different controllers, and it just should be a lot easier than that. So for the real moment of truth, what I wanted to find out is how quickly it rendered last week's video now that I have twice as much memory in it. Well, it didn't make a bit of difference at all. It's still 7 minutes, 47 seconds. Not sure why that is. I did go back and look at the memory usage while it was rendering, and it was only using about 7.5 or 8 gig out of the 32 gig available. So I need to go back through and look, because now with a lot more available, it should be able to pull a lot more. So the original question was, what did the Trident Z Neo 32 gig kit have to do with the GTX1660 by EVGA? Well, we answered that, nothing. The 32 gig kit went in Son of Fred, my other PC, for editing. But what does the 16 gig kit that we took out have to do with the 1660? Well, that's easy. They're going in this right here, Cooler Master E110. But that's a whole other video. We're going to take care of that some other time. Don't know if it was entertaining or not, folks, but if you have any thumbs up, thumbs down, have any comments or anything like that, you're always welcome to share and subscribe. I'm going to go back and figure out why I'm not using more of the memory that I should be to do editing, because I really want to get the edit times down. That's a whole reason for doing that, other than the fact it was a pretty blue color. But I did that because it wasn't much more expensive than a 32 gig kit. Certainly don't need it for gaming or anything like that. I do gaming on that rig, but the editing is more the concern, so I need the extra memory for editing, and it's not taking advantage of that, and I have to find out why. So I'll leave comments if I find out, but in the meantime, this is going to be the next build. It's going to be in that E110, that Elite 110 case from Cooler Master, and we'll have to get that going for you, but that's probably going to be a next weekend project, because I'm also waiting on another all-in-one cooler so I can swap out the 120 that's in Son of Fred and put it in here, because I got a 240 that's on the way for that one. So, all right, we're going to cover that another time, folks, but as always, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave me any kind of comments, share, subscribe, do what you like, and until next time, that's all I got, so I'll see you later.